Well, after traveling north this past weekend to Superior and Eau Claire, the men's hockey team was left waiting for win number 1 on the season. 2 conference games this weekend right here at Alumni Memorial Fieldhouse, and they'll try to get that number 1 in the win column. I'm Cam McGuire, the voice of Forester Hockey, and as always, I'll be joined by head coach Pat Kelleher coming up next in this week's episode of Inside Forester Hockey. Joined now with head coach Pat Kelleher. Coach, 3-3 tie versus Superior on Friday and then a 3-1 loss to Eau Claire on Saturday. You guys went into both games with a lot of injuries. Obviously not an excuse, but overall not a terrible weekend.
Yeah, I think, there's something you could take out of each game. There's some positives, some negatives. Certainly injuries aren't an excuse. Everybody has them. I think maybe you don't expect to have quite as many this early in the season, but I think there's some positives to take out of the weekend. We'll certainly try to do that this week heading into conference play.
Looking at those positives, obviously a positive. Look at special teams. Power play goals in both games. Last year, early in the season, power play struggled, so that had to be a good sign.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think, power play is so much about momentum and confidence, and I think to get that first one on Friday night was a big step, and it was a 5-on-3, which was great. I think a lot of times, people take those for granted, just think it's going to be an automatic goal, and that wasn't the case for us last year. So to get one on the 5-on-3 on Friday and then a 5-on-4 on Saturday, we've been working on special teams quite a bit here early in the season, so hopefully we can keep it going.
Your opponents, they threw a lot of rubber on net. Louis DeCourcy came up big once again, stopped 79 of 81 shots. He's going to be a huge part of this team's success this year.
Yeah, Louis was great. I think he played really well both games. You look at Saturday, for whatever reason, we came out pretty flat, and he was able to keep us in that game for a long time until the third period there when we started to come alive a little bit and get some more scoring chances. So, I think our goaltending in general is really solid. We feel confident in all 3 of our guys, and, it's going to be a big part of our success hopefully moving forward this year.
Let's look back to that Superior game. You guys had a 3-1 lead going into the third period. Gave up 2 goals in that period, obviously came out with a tie. Had to be tough to swallow, but you'd rather learn the lesson earlier than the season than late in the later half.
Yeah, it's always tough to give up a 2-goal lead, and hopefully we'll learn from that. I don't know that we were playing that great. Up 2 goals, we were giving up quite a few chances. So at the end of the day, if you give up, too many high-quality scoring chances, it can come back to bite you. But, I think a few correctable things that'll certainly help us, if we can make some adjustments. But, I think if you can learn a lesson from it, it's great. But ultimately, it's on the team and on us as coaches to learn from it and improve.
And then Eau Claire, it was just 16 shots on goal, but 11 of them came in the third period, so your team never gave up. That's got to be good to see as well.
Yeah, like I had mentioned before, I think LP, kept us in the game long enough that the guys kind of had no choice to believe that they were still in it. You look at the third period going in 1-0, had been, heavily outshot, limited scoring chances, and the guys, I think, finally started to sense that maybe we were going to be able to, have a chance to get, maybe some greasy points on the road. So, it was great. Yeah, like you said, they didn't quit. I think moving forward, we certainly need to be ready to play 60 full minutes, not wait to the third period to come alive. But again, hopefully another lesson learned.
At home this weekend, Friday against Northland College, a 7 o'clock face-off for that one, and then back at it on Saturday, 4 o'clock against St. Scholastica. This Northland team, they've struggled since their existence, now in their 18th year, but they always play you guys tough. What are you expecting from them?
Same thing we expect every year from them, a really hard-working team that isn't going to quit. And I think, when they have success as a team, whether it's versus us or anybody else in the league, it's generally 60 minutes of, all-out attack. They don't sit back very much, very aggressive. So we expect the same thing. They always play as tough, in this building here over the years too. So we have no reason to expect anything else from them.
St. Scholastica, they've got a lot of skill. They welcome a lot back. I think it was 86% of their goal scorings coming back. What are you expecting from them?
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, I mean, they're a skilled team, probably more in that category with, like Eau Claire and Superior from this past weekend, where they're going to certainly have some skill up front, try to put a lot of pucks on net and generate a lot of scoring chances. So for us, again, if we take some lessons from this weekend, we have to tighten up defensively, limit high-quality scoring chances and take advantage of the chances that you're going to get in transition and on the counterattack.
Well, both games this weekend will be broadcasted on GoForesters.com. That's 7 o'clock face-off on Friday. We'll go on air at 6:45, and then a rare 4 o'clock start on Saturday, so we'll go on air at 3:45. That'll do it for this week's episode of Inside Forester Hockey.